Hello, my loves, and welcome to another energy update. I said that I would come back and do a short video focusing all of the energy and attention on the upcoming solar eclipse in Aries, which is a North Node eclipse. Um, I don't know how you guys are all feeling. I would love for you to share in the comments about how this month has been. As I mentioned in the original March energy forecast, this was going to be a difficult or impactful, at the very least, month, and one of the most energetically impactful months that we will have for the entire year. And it's only been a few days since we really began to seriously anchor these new Earth frequencies. And so some of you may have felt that shift happen. For me, I felt it over this last weekend. I felt that shift and literally felt like I woke up with like new energy, new inspiration. And it really, I felt the internal shift. And no matter what you're experiencing, it's happening for you. We had some big themes showing up this month about, utilizing our voice in a way that we can be heard and that is impactful without needing to scream or make a scene or or any of those things. And it makes a lot of sense because if we look at the Aries solar eclipse, this Aries, I actually wrote it down. The first eclipse that we had in this three-part series was April 20th, 2023. Um, and that karmic cycle that began then was really about us learning to step into our power, to stop people pleasing. It was really about building new relationships and dissolving ones that were no longer serving. It was about us stepping into our authenticity and really like igniting and owning our own light, our own fire. And the North Node is really about us having that drive, that desire, that thirst to go into our destiny, to go after that thing that feels bigger than ourselves, that just is bigger, right? That's really the North Node energy. And most people, their life trajectory shifts and they go towards their North Node between the ages of 38 and 42. And so how this affects everybody is going to be different, and everybody will have an effect, of course. But this is really big, impactful energy. There's so many other astrological things going on that you can check in with your local, or your favorite astrologer on. But this energy in itself is super impactful, and the waves of light that have been coming in on repeat have been more intense than I originally forecasted or could see. And we have to remember that collectively, we are each voting every hour. We have a collective vote that we cast every hour that really helps us decide how our collective game will continue to be played and any shifts and changes. And we have some very big shifts and changes that are currently taking place and that are going to take place over the next couple of years. And it doesn't take an astrologer or a channeler to really see that, but I want to validate that there are some very large changes that are about to take place. With this eclipse, the last eclipse, we were really letting go. We were shedding, and a lot of you have been shedding. I've been shedding. And this has been shedding patterns, limiting beliefs, programs. There's been a ton of inner child healing available during this month. When we move into the solar eclipse, this is when we start to birth our new existence. We are birthing our new collective reality. We are birthing our own individual realities. And this shift just feels so much different than the other ones. And I don't know if it's just because of how impactful it is, or if it's because of the turning of the tides that we just went through. And literally everything that we are about to step into is unknown territory to us. We can look back through history and see the things and try to get an idea of what's coming, but the energy that we are about to step into right now, or we already have stepped into really, and that we will continue to step into in April, it is really about around the years of 1861 to 1875. So we're talking about the Civil War, we're talking about the Chinese Rebellion, we're talking about all of this upheaval, we're talking about all this medical revolutionary advancements that happen. This is the type of energy that we have been stepping into, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the April update. But it's really important to just make that little nugget here that this birthing of this new reality, this collective new reality, and your personal new reality is that massive. It is a complete, utter inner revolution that's been happening. And so there can be some really big birthing pains, if you will, when you are birthing a whole new version of yourself. And it's going to take a lot of courage and a lot of patience for you to allow things to unfold in the way that they need to and to see that it's happening for you. And a lot of the sessions and new mentorship clients that I've been getting, it's all been around them feeling this big desire to step into their authentic self, to express themselves more authentically, to be more true to their heart and their nature, and to start to be free of the societal programming. It's stepping into my gifts. It's following that thread of excitement. It's answering the call to that thing that they feel that is so much bigger than them, that's been calling to them. And so if that's you and you're ready, please check out my website. I have a few new spots opening up for private mentorship. And of course, I have single sessions available as well. And of course, digital experiences that are going to be super impactful for you. But as we focus on this energy, I wanted to bring in these insights. This energy feels, while it's going to be impactful, it's probably going to encourage you, or you may have the desire to, again, sleep more, meditate more, rest more, change your diet, change your routine. There's some big shifts and changes that are going to be happening in our internal reality, our structure, our food, our routines, our patterns, our behaviors. So don't be surprised if those things begin to happen, or you start to feel the call to let go of something and shift into something new. But this also feels like a completion, right? And the interesting thing is so many of these astrological events have been happening at 9 degrees, and 9 is a number of endings, right? It's not a 10, it's not quite a completion, but it's everything's ending. And this is also part of the beginning, right? Because there is no difference between the end and the new. It's just that transitional space. And sometimes when we're in the transition, we feel confused. We don't have clarity about where we are going or what we are meant to be doing. And that's okay. The analogy the guides like to give is, think about if you're in a river and there's all these people flowing and the river's like really going. It can oftentimes kick up the dirt and make the water look murky. But once you settle, once you stop, once the water settles, everything else settles. And then we have clarity. So there's going to be a period of time, I feel, between now and the middle of April, that you are going to really want to spend more time in stillness, in quiet, in nature, in resting. And if you are one of those people that has already been experiencing that because you've shifted into the new earth frequencies, this is why I want to say it's a little bit more energy that's going to be coming. But things are going to shift. They are going to get better. But I don't want to, this is starting to bleed into April, and I want to do a separate video for April. Here's a few key points, though, that I pre-channeled before doing this video. Is the thing I love about this energy, and why I said, yes, there's going to be this energy where you feel like you need to slow down, you feel like you need to be more still, you feel like you're exhausted. You could even be getting sick or having physical things show up in your vessel. I think it's happening for a good reason. I think it's going to help us be able to still things so that we can have the clarity that we are so desperately seeking and so many of us are wanting. But the good part of this energy, the part that I feel like nobody's really talking about, um, that I want to bring through, is this new beginning feels so abundant. It feels so renewed. It feels so artistic. It feels like we're moving through the arches, this threshold where all that we've been working towards, all that we have been doing the work for, all of these shifts that we've been making, all of these internal shifts and changes in our belief systems, in our patternings, in our relationships, in us choosing ourselves, in us standing up for ourselves, in us going after what we know we want for ourselves unapologetically. Those of us who have been doing that work, it's going to be time for us to reap the rewards of that. It feels like the cornucopia. It feels like it's an epic time of receiving, an epic time for blessings. It is going to be the start of the new year, April 1st, when we were going off of the 13-month calendar was the actual new year. So, in the Northern Hemisphere, this is spring, this is the blooming, the things coming out of the ground and being unearthed. But it also is a time of patience because things don't all grow at the same rate of speed. And when I say that, I'm talking to us individually. Some of us grow faster than others. Some of us need to take a little bit more time. And so patience and grace in your own journey and staying in your own lane is very important. But this is the time and the rise of the light worker. This is when healers and quantum alchemists and channelers and mediums and people who work in therapy and people who are just coaches in general, we're going to see a rise in these people and those who are needing those people, because where we're going, there's really nothing to anyone else can gauge upon. Our knowledge, our wisdom, our insight is going to be the guiding light because there really is no certainty. And there never really has been. But when we lived in more of the third and fourth dimensional fields, there was more tangible constructs that made us feel like we had certainty, where now that's kind of all gone and dissipated as we move into the fifth dimensional frequency. Things are very malleable. Things are very easily created and manifested into our reality based on what we believe. We have to remember when we are in our etherical field, when we shed our human body, when we have a desire, we just align to that experience and we are there. And we're learning that over the last year and over the future years to come. We're learning how to tap into our multidimensionality. We're learning that we shift through parallel realities billions of times a day. We're learning that we can simply align to an experience or a version of ourselves that we're wanting to have, that we no longer have to dig in our limiting beliefs, that we no longer have to believe in these limits and these programmed constructs that society and our parents and that we've long time believed. It's like someone lighting a fire and it literally clearing all of the fog, all of the dirt-filled moisture that's been clogging the air. It's like we're going to have this big, massive clarity internally and collectively as to where we are going. And though we won't actually have like tangible knowings of where we're going, we're going to have a sense of where we're going and we're going to want to follow that sense. But this is a time where I cannot say it enough. You need to befriend your fear. You need to befriend your uncertainty. You need to believe in the reality that you are desiring. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have faith in yourself. You need to trust in your capability of navigating whatever may come your way and surrender into the flow and allow your life to unfold. Life is so much easier that way, and it is the ultimate control. And that is the most important thing. And so there is this intensity around this energy because we're going to feel that sense of ominousness. Is that even a word? This ominous feeling we're going to be experiencing because things on the world stage may get a bit dramatic and continue to build in that dramaticity. I'm making up words today. That's just where we're going. But it's all happening for us, right? Because we cannot build a new society. We cannot build a new reality on top of an old one. There has to be a deconstruction that takes place. And we are also going through that destruction, our own destruction internally. And whether that is simply a destruction of your belief systems and the programs and the habits and the patterns that you have been falling victim to, or if it's a complete destruction of your physical reality and a breakdown, it doesn't really matter, frankly. It's happening for you. It's happening for a reason. And there's beautiful, 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 abundant blessings on the other side of this. And we will shift. We will start moving fluidly again. So we just have to get through this last little bit of really intense, impactful energy. And I'm not saying that we won't have impactful or intense energy the rest of the year. Of course we will. But from this moment, this is the most impactful energy that we are currently experiencing. But again, not to get too lost in repeating myself, but know that this is a time for you to reap the rewards of the work that you've been doing. And if you haven't been doing the work, you're going to feel the impact of what it means to not do the work, to not show up authentically, to not choose to shift your beliefs or programming, to not choose differently. And so, whatever you experience, please know that it's perfect for you. It's perfect for what you need at this moment. So, that's kind of just a little bit of a taste of what the energy of this solar eclipse is. If you want to look back, what was going on in your life on April 20th, what was going on, if you can just Google the different times that we had the eclipse, the Aries eclipse, what was going on during those times, you might come up with a theme. So for me, when I looked back on April 20th, 2023, I had recently began the end of my nomad journey. I wasn't it wasn't the end of my nomad, but it was the beginning of the end for me. It was the first romantic relationship that I had since my divorce. It was a beautiful shift in my family relationships and dynamic, calling in people who I now deem and call family, and really walking away from a lot of my blood family. And so there was big shifts in my relationships. There was big shifts in my work, and there was big shifts in my nomadic journey, right? It was the process from April of then till now. It really was that shift of me stepping into stability and me regaining my footing and my sense of self and stepping into my power, my truth, my authenticity, and trusting myself at levels that I had never reached. And so it really does for me feel like this pivotal moment where I feel like I'm going to start to reap the rewards of all of the work that I was doing during that time. And it feels really good. And I've already started to see that, but it feels like everything that was binding me and tying me up, those were patterns and beliefs and programs that caged me. It was my own inner prison that I was making. And that's really the case for anybody. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like you are in a prison of your own making, know that this energy might be the thing that breaks those ties that bind and sets you free. And however that needs to happen is however it needs to happen. So look forward and keep an eye out for April's energy forecast. I'm not quite sure when that's going to be out. It may be before April 1st, it may be after. It just depends on timing. I have quite a full calendar at the moment. So just to keep, these are just some tidbits to keep in mind when we experience this solar eclipse Saturday morning. But you're going to feel it. You're already feeling it. And once we get through the middle of April, that energy, the intensity, the impactfulness will start to die down. We will start to feel the anchoring. And as I mentioned, the last few days, we were really starting to anchor the new earth frequencies. And so each person who has made that shift into the new earth frequencies, you are going to start feeling a little bit more anchored as well. While you still may have baggage that you need to release to start to really flow in these frequencies, regardless of that, you will start to feel a little bit more stability and a little bit more anchored and a little bit more used to these frequencies. And that can only be beneficial. It's something that will help you more to release the heavy weight that you've been carrying. And just a reminder, if it's heavy, if it's something that's weighing you down, if it feels heavy on your shoulders, feels heavy on your body, it's not meant for you. It's not for you. It's not your responsibility to carry. Our own baggage, our own things that we are meant to work through in this life and clear don't weigh anything. So if you're carrying around other people's belief systems and programming that have been impressed onto you, that is going to feel heavy to you. So if it feels heavy, this is your permission slip to set it down. Many blessings, and I will see you in the next video.